Hello everyone. In today's video, I bring you an emotional story filled with revelations. Let's meet Cassian Pierce, a young baseball player who, after a near-death experience, returned with a powerful message about what's to come. What he saw and discovered will leave you speechless. He revealed that the blessings of October 2024 will only come to those who follow the teachings of Jesus. So, before we embark on this incredible journey, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any content like this, and activate the notification bell to receive all updates. Now, get ready for a transformative revelation that could change your life. My name is Cassian Pierce, and I have a story to tell that completely changed my life and my perception of existence. At 24, I was a promising college baseball player, dreaming of making it to the major leagues. My life revolved around the sport, training, and the pursuit of excellence on the field. I was known for my powerful pitch and unwavering determination. I grew up in a complicated family. My father, Nathan Pierce, was a strict and demanding man, always pushing me to be the best. His way of showing love was through criticism and constant pressure, making me feel for a long time that I would never be good enough. My mother, Elena, was kinder, but emotionally distant, as if she were trying to protect herself from the constant family tensions. The arrival of my stepfather, Mark Reynolds, brought a new dynamic to our family. He was the opposite of my father, warm, encouraging, and present. Mark became the father figure I never had, someone who supported me unconditionally and believed in me. His presence in my life was a balm for the emotional wounds I carried. I was at the peak of my college career when fate decided to intervene. During a crucial game, I felt a sharp pain in my elbow as I made a pitch. At that moment, I didn't know it, but that injury would change the course of my life in ways I could never have imagined. The diagnosis was devastating. I would need surgery known as Tommy John. It was my only chance to play at a high level again. At the time, I thought my life depended on that procedure. Little did I know that the surgery would only be the beginning of a much greater journey. As I prepared for surgery, a mix of emotions consumed me. There was fear of the unknown, anxiety about the future of my career, but also a strange sense that something significant was about to happen. It was as if part of me knew that this experience would be much more than just a medical intervention. Looking back now, I realize that moment was the turning point in my existence. The injury that seemed to end my dreams became the portal to a much deeper understanding of life, love, and purpose. What happened in that operating room transcended any earthly experience and led me on a journey beyond life as we know it. The day of the surgery arrived, and with it, an apprehension I had never felt before. As they prepared me for the procedure, I tried to focus on the positive thoughts that Mark had always taught me. Everything will be fine, I repeated to myself, like a mantra. The operating room was cold and impersonal. The smell of antiseptic filled the air, mixed with the rhythmic sound of heart monitors. The doctors and nurses moved efficiently, checking equipment and preparing me for anesthesia. I watched everything with a mixture of fascination and fear. When the anesthetist began administering the medication, I felt a strange sensation spreading through my body. It was as if every cell was being enveloped in a dense mist. My eyes grew heavy, and I fought to keep them open. The voices around me began to fade, as if coming from far away. Then something unusual happened. Instead of completely losing consciousness, as expected, I found myself in a state of surreal alertness. It was as if a part of me had separated from my physical body. Suddenly, I was floating above the operating table, watching the scene below with remarkable clarity. I saw my body lying there, motionless while the medical team worked. I could see every detail, the surgeon's focused expressions, the gleam of the surgical instruments, even the small beads of sweat on the lead surgeon's forehead. It was a perspective that defied everything I believed to be possible. As I watched, I noticed a sudden change in the room's atmosphere. The medical team's movements became more urgent, and I heard concerned words being exchanged. I looked at the heart monitor and saw something that filled me with indescribable fear. A flat line. My heart had stopped beating. At that moment, a profound understanding hit me. I was experiencing my own death. It was a surreal sensation, a mix of fear and strange peace. Part of me wanted to scream, to alert the doctors, to do something to return to my body. But another part, a part I never knew existed, felt free, light, as if a great weight had been lifted. The scene in the operating room began to fade, as if being pulled away. The colors became brighter, the sounds more distant. I felt myself being drawn by a gentle yet irresistible force. It was as if the entire universe was calling me, inviting me on a journey beyond human comprehension. As I was taken away from the reality I knew, a deep sense of peace enveloped me. All the fears, all the worries I carried about my career, my future, my relationships, they all seemed insignificant now. I was on the verge of something grand, something that would forever change my understanding of life and death. As I moved away from the operating room, I was surrounded by a bright, welcoming light. It felt as though I was diving into an ocean of pure consciousness. In this state, I began to experience something I can only describe as a life review. Memories started to flow before me, not as simple recollections, but as vivid experiences I was reliving. I saw moments from my childhood that I had long forgotten. The smell of the cake my grandmother made on Sundays, the sound of my best friend's laughter on the playground, the feel of the grass under my feet on the first day of baseball practice. Each memory came with a deep understanding. I wasn't just observing these moments, but feeling them in all their emotional complexity. Fights that seemed so important at the time now appeared trivial. Small acts of kindness I barely noticed when they happened now shone with enormous significance. One of the most impactful parts of this review was seeing my relationship with my parents in a new light. I relived difficult moments with my father, Nathan, his harsh words, his impossible expectations, the constant feeling that I would never be good enough. But now, I could see beyond his actions. I realized the fear that drove him, the genuine desire to see me succeed, even if expressed in the wrong way. I saw my mother, Elena, in all her complexity. Her emotional distance, which had hurt me before, I now understood as a form of self-preservation. I could feel the love she had for me, even when she couldn't fully express it. I understood the internal struggles she faced, which I had never noticed before. In this review, I also relived moments with Mark, my stepfather. The pain of his loss to cancer 2 years earlier was still fresh, but now I could see the lasting impact he had on my life. Every word of encouragement, every hug, every moment of unconditional support shone with new intensity. What surprised me the most was how this review affected me. There was no judgment, only understanding. I felt a wave of forgiveness and love for everyone in my life, including myself. I realized that every experience, every relationship, every challenge had contributed to shaping who I was. This life review wasn't just about the past. Somehow, I knew I was being prepared for something greater. Each memory, each insight seemed to guide me toward a deeper understanding of my life's purpose. As the last memories passed, I felt a shift. The life review was coming to an end, but my journey was far from over. A sense of anticipation grew within me. I knew that what would come next would be even more extraordinary and transformative. After the intense life review, I felt myself being transported to a new environment. The transition was smooth, as if I were floating through veils of reality. Suddenly, I found myself in a place that defies any earthly description, a place I can only call the Celestial Hall. The space around me was vast, seemingly infinite. There were no discernible walls or ceilings, just an expanse of light and color extending in all directions. The light didn't come from any specific source. It seemed to emanate from everything, including myself. The colors were more vibrant and diverse than anything I had ever seen on Earth, including shades that have no names in our human language. The ground, if I can call it that, seemed to be made of shining crystals. Every step I took, though I didn't have a physical body as we know it, caused the crystals to resonate with soft, harmonious music. It was as if the very environment responded to my presence. Around me, I saw structures that resembled buildings, but they were made of pure light and energy. These structures seemed to be in constant motion, changing shape and color in ways that defied logic, yet somehow made sense in that realm. The most striking thing was the overwhelming sense of love and peace that permeated the entire environment. It was an intense and pure feeling that, had I still had a physical body, would have certainly brought me to my knees. This love was not directed specifically at me. It was universal, embracing everything and everyone. As I absorbed the majesty of this place, I realized that time didn't exist there in the same way it does on Earth. Past, present, and future seemed to coexist. I could feel the history of all creation and, at the same time, glimpse future possibilities. In this hall, I began to understand the interconnectedness of all things. I saw how every action, every thought, every moment of our earthly lives created ripples that spread throughout the universe. I realized that nothing was truly insignificant. Every life, every choice had a purpose in the grand cosmic design. As I contemplated these revelations, I felt a presence approaching. It wasn't a human figure or any form I could recognize. It was more like a concentration of energy and consciousness. This presence radiated wisdom, compassion, and an unconditional love that enveloped me completely. Without words, but through a communication that transcended language, I understood that this presence was my guide on this journey beyond life. I felt that I was about to receive knowledge and visions that would forever change my understanding of existence. The presence invited me, without words, to delve even deeper into this experience. I knew that what would come next would be beyond anything I could imagine. With a mixture of reverence and expectation, I prepared for the next stage of this extraordinary journey. Guided by the ethereal presence, I was led into a state of deep contemplation within the celestial hall. The environment around me seemed to merge with my consciousness, and suddenly, I was immersed in a series of vivid and powerful visions about the future of humanity. The first images I saw were of a transforming Earth. I saw people from all nations undergoing a profound spiritual shift. Their faces were illuminated by a greater understanding, an expanded awareness that transcended cultural and religious barriers. It was as if an inner light had been ignited in each individual, connecting them to one another and to the universe in a way never before experienced. I observed scenes of large-scale healing, not just physical but emotional and spiritual. Conflicts that once seemed unsolvable began to dissolve as people developed a deeper empathy and mutual understanding. I saw communities coming together, overcoming long-standing differences, and working together to create a more harmonious world. One of the most impactful visions showed the awakening of a collective consciousness. It was as if humanity was evolving into a new stage of existence, where separation was an illusion and unity, a lived reality. I saw people developing abilities once considered supernatural, telepathy, energy healing, expanded consciousness, as if they were a natural evolution of our species. Amid these visions, one specific moment stood out with crystal clear clarity. October 2024. This month appeared as a crucial turning point for humanity. I saw a wave of cosmic energy sweeping across the planet, catalyzing a massive transformation in human consciousness. It was as if a portal was opening, allowing ancient and profound wisdom to flow into our reality. The visions revealed that those who followed the teachings of unconditional love, compassion, and service to others, core principles taught by spiritual masters like Jesus, would be the first to experience this new reality. I saw people awakening to their true potential, performing miracles of healing and transformation in their lives and in the lives of those around them. The impact of this shift was visible in every aspect of society. I saw economic systems transforming to prioritize the well-being of all and not just the profit of a few. Political institutions evolved to reflect wiser and more compassionate governance. Humanity's relationship with nature drastically changed, with a renewed respect and deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. However, these visions did not show a predetermined future, but rather a potential that depended on the collective choices of humanity. I understood that free will still played a crucial role. Those who chose to embrace this new consciousness of love and unity would experience a transformed reality, while others might take longer to adapt to this new vibration. As I absorbed these visions, I felt an immense responsibility. I realized that those of us who had glimpses of this potential future had an important role to play. We were called to be beacons of light, helping to guide others through this monumental transition. The visions began to fade, but the feeling of hope and purpose they had awakened remained. I knew that if I returned to earthly life, I would have an important mission: to share this message of imminent transformation and help prepare people for the new era that was to come. The visions continued to unfold, focusing more intensely on October 2024. This period was revealed not just as a time marker, but as a catalyst for a profound global spiritual transformation. I saw a unique convergence of cosmic and earthly energies during this month. It was as if the universe itself was aligning to facilitate a quantum leap in human consciousness. I observed significant numerological patterns manifesting in world events, synchronicities on a global scale that could not be ignored. The impact of this energy was visible at all levels of society. I saw individuals awakening to their true spiritual natures, as if veils of illusion were being lifted. People from all walks of life, world leaders, scientists, artists, everyday workers, were experiencing profound revelations about the interconnected nature of reality. One of the most powerful scenes showed a wave of kindness and compassion spreading across the world. Acts of kindness, both big and small, created a domino effect of positivity. I saw entire communities transforming as people rediscovered the power of unconditional love and service to others. This spiritual awakening brought with it a shift in how people perceived and interacted with the world around them. Separation gave way to unity, fear to love, competition to cooperation. It was as if humanity was collectively remembering a long-forgotten truth about our essential nature and our place in the cosmos. I observed the emergence of new forms of healing and well-being. Ancient spiritual practices were gaining new relevance, blending with cutting-edge scientific discoveries. The line between science and spirituality was dissolving, leading to revolutionary breakthroughs in our understanding of consciousness and reality. However, this period of transformation was not without challenges. I saw that those who resisted the change, who clung to old paradigms of fear and separation, experienced an intensification of internal and external conflicts. But even these struggles served a greater purpose, acting as catalysts for deeper growth and transformation. One of the most significant revelations was the individual nature of this transformation. While October 2024 marked a collective turning point, the pace and depth of change varied for each person. Some quickly embraced this new consciousness, becoming beacons of light for others. Others moved more slowly, needing time to process and integrate these new energies. As the visions of October faded, I was left with an overwhelming sense of hope and purpose. I understood that this period was not the end of a journey but the beginning of a new era for humanity. It was an invitation for each individual to awaken to their true potential and actively participate in the co-creation of a new world. I felt that if I returned, I would have an important role to play in preparing people for this imminent transformation. The message was clear. The future was not set in stone, but depended on the individual and collective choices we would make in the years leading up to and following this pivotal moment. As the visions of the future dissipated, I felt a shift in the energy around me. The vast celestial hall seemed to reconfigure, and a familiar, comforting feeling filled my being. It was then that I saw him, Mark, my stepfather, just as I remembered him before his passing. Mark was radiant, emanating a light and peace that were almost tangible. His warm smile, the one that always made me feel safe and loved, was there, brighter than ever. There was no need for words. In an instant, we were united in an embrace that transcended the physical, our essences merging in pure love and understanding. When we separated, I could see Mark with a clarity I had never had in life. Every line on his face told a story of love. Every look conveyed profound wisdom. He was not just the Mark I knew, but a more complete, truer version of himself. "Cassian," he said, his voice resonating not only in my ears but throughout my being. "You've come far, my son." His words unleashed a wave of emotions. All the pain of his loss, all the gratitude for his love, all the guilt for not saying or doing enough while he was alive. Everything came rushing to the surface at once. But along with those emotions came a deep understanding. Mark had never truly left me. His love and guidance had been with me all along. Mark smiled, as if reading my thoughts. Love never dies, Cassian. It just changes form. We talked then, not through words, but through pure and direct understanding. I saw all of Mark's life, his joys and struggles, his triumphs and mistakes. I understood how deeply he loved me, not just as a stepfather, but as a soul connected to mine through many lifetimes. Mark showed me how every challenge in our lives had a purpose, how every pain led to greater growth. I saw how his battle with cancer, which I had seen as a senseless tragedy, had been a powerful journey of spiritual growth for him and for everyone around him. You have a choice to make, Cassian, Mark said gently. You can stay here, in this realm of peace and understanding, or you can return. Both paths have value. Both offer opportunities for growth and service. I felt the weight of this decision. Part of me longed to stay, to dive deeper into this peace and wisdom I had experienced. The thought of leaving Mark again, of returning to the pain and struggles of earthly life, seemed almost unbearable. But then, the visions I had witnessed came flooding back to my mind. I remembered the potential for transformation that awaited humanity, the role each of us had to play in this great change. Mark nodded, understanding my thoughts. Remember, Cassian, no matter what you choose, you will never be truly separated from me, or from this love you have experienced here. Each of us has a unique purpose, a song to sing in the great chorus of the universe. As I contemplated my decision, I felt immense gratitude for this encounter, for this moment of connection and understanding with Mark. I knew that, whatever I chose, this meeting had transformed me forever. The moment of decision had arrived. Before me lay two paths: to remain in this celestial realm of infinite peace and understanding, or to return to earthly life with all the knowledge and experiences I had gained. Mark remained by my side, his presence a beacon of love and wisdom. He didn't pressure me in any direction, but I felt that he deeply understood the magnitude of this choice. I closed my eyes, or whatever the equivalent was in this non-physical form, and sank into deep contemplation. I went over everything I had experienced, the review of my life, the visions of the future, the unconditional love that permeated this celestial realm. Staying would be easy, I thought. Here, there was no pain, no conflict, only perfect peace and understanding. I could continue to evolve, to learn, to grow in this state of pure consciousness. The idea was incredibly tempting. But then, the images of the visions I had of Earth's future came rushing back with full force. I saw again the potential for humanity's transformation, the spiritual awakening that was about to unfold. I remembered the importance of October 2024 and the role each individual would play in this great shift. I realized that, if I chose to stay, I would be choosing the path of personal comfort and peace. But if I returned, I would have the opportunity to make a real difference, to help others awaken to their true nature, to be an active part of this evolution of human consciousness. Mark, sensing my contemplation, spoke softly. Cassian, remember that there is no wrong choice here. Both paths lead to growth and evolution. The question is, which journey does your soul wish to experience now? His words resonated within me, bringing a clarity I hadn't had before. I realized that this wasn't just a choice between staying or leaving, but a choice about what kind of being I wanted to become. In that moment, I felt a deep connection with all the souls on earth, with their struggles, their hopes, their fears, and their dreams. I understood that my journey was intrinsically tied to the journey of all humanity. With this understanding, my decision crystallized. I looked at Mark, my eyes, or my essence, filled with determination and love. I need to go back, I said. There's work to be done, people to help, love to share. Mark smiled, his eyes shining with pride and understanding. You've chosen the path of service, Cassian. It won't be easy, but know that you'll never be alone. The love and wisdom you've experienced here will always be with you, guiding your steps. He hugged me once more, and in that embrace, I felt all the love of the universe. Remember, he whispered, your mission is to share love, to awaken others to their true nature. You have the tools, you have the knowledge. Trust in yourself. As I prepared to return, I felt a mix of emotions, anxiety for the unknown, sadness at leaving this realm of peace, but above all, a burning determination to fulfill my purpose. Mark began to fade, his form dissolving into the bright light of the celestial hall. His final words echoed in my consciousness. Go with love, Cassian. We are always with you. And so, with my heart full of love and purpose, I turned towards the journey back, ready to embrace life with a new perspective and a clear mission. The transition back to the physical world was an intense and disorienting experience. I felt myself being pulled through layers of consciousness, each one denser than the last. The vibrant colors and peace of the celestial realm began to fade, replaced by increasingly stronger physical sensations. Suddenly, I was overwhelmed by a cacophony of sounds, the rhythmic beeping of heart monitors, the urgent voices of doctors and nurses, the hum of medical equipment. The bright, welcoming light from the other side gave way to the harsh, artificial lighting of the operating room. My eyes opened abruptly, and I was met with a jolt of physical reality. Pain was the first thing I registered, a sharp, throbbing pain in my elbow, immediately reminding me of the reason I was there in the first place. He's back, I heard someone shout, their voice full of relief and surprise. The face of a doctor appeared in my line of vision, his eyes wide with astonishment. Mr. Pierce, can you hear me? Blink twice if you can understand me. With effort, I managed to blink twice. The room burst into renewed activity. Nurses rushed around, adjusting equipment and checking my vitals. I caught fragments of technical conversations about my condition, how my heart had stopped for several minutes, how it was a miracle I was alive and conscious. As the medical team worked, I tried to process everything that had happened. The memories of my experience beyond life were still vivid in my mind, but they were already beginning to feel distant, like a dream fading upon waking. I tried to hold on to every detail, every vision, every sensation, fearing I might forget them. Physical reality gradually became sharper. The smell of antiseptic, the cold of the room, the sound of the machines, all of this anchored me back into the world I knew. But something had fundamentally changed within me. I felt like a stranger in my own body, as if my consciousness had expanded beyond physical limits and was now trying to readjust. The doctors continued to examine me, asking questions, testing my reflexes. I tried to respond, but my throat was dry and my voice came out hoarse. A nurse gently moistened my lips with some water. Mr. Pierce, said the lead surgeon, leaning over me with an expression of concern and fascination. You've been through an extraordinary experience. Your heart stopped for nearly 5 minutes. Frankly, it's a miracle you're here with us now, and even more surprising that you seem fully conscious. I wanted to tell them everything I had seen, everything I had experienced. I wanted to talk about the Celestial Hall, about the visions of the future, about my encounter with Mark. But the words seemed inadequate, incapable of capturing the magnitude of what I had lived through. Besides, part of me feared they wouldn't believe me, that they would attribute everything to hallucinations caused by a lack of oxygen to the brain. As I struggled to find a way to express my experience, I was seized by a sudden urgency. The visions I had about the future, about the transformation to come, about the importance of October 2024, all of it seemed incredibly important now. I felt I had a mission, a purpose far beyond my physical recovery or my baseball career. How long? I finally managed to murmur. The doctor looked confused for a moment, then understood. The surgery lasted about 3 hours, Mr. Pierce. It's early evening now. 3 hours. It seemed impossible that all of that experience, which had felt like an eternity, had happened in such a short time. The disparity between physical time and subjective experience made me question once again the nature of reality. As the medical team continued to monitor me and discuss the next steps in my treatment, my mind was racing, trying to integrate everything that had happened. I knew my life would never be the same again. The elbow surgery, which had once seemed so crucial, now felt almost trivial compared to the spiritual journey I had just undergone. I closed my eyes for a moment, trying to reconnect with that feeling of peace and unconditional love I had experienced on the other side. Though the intensity had faded, I could still feel it, like a distant yet persistent echo. I opened my eyes again, looking around the operating room with a new perspective. Every person here, every piece of equipment, every detail seemed imbued with deeper meaning. I felt a wave of gratitude for being alive, for having had this extraordinary experience, and for the opportunity to share what I had learned. As the doctors discussed my transfer to the recovery unit, I began to think about how I would tell my family, my friends, the world about this experience. I knew I had an important story to share, a message of hope and transformation, but I also knew that the path ahead would not be easy. I took a deep breath, feeling the air enter my lungs, appreciating the simple wonder of being alive. I'm back, I thought to myself, and I have a lot of work to do. Months have passed since my near-death experience, and now it's 2024. The urgency of my mission intensifies with each passing day. October, the month I saw in my visions as a crucial turning point for humanity, is approaching quickly. My physical recovery has been remarkably fast, surprising the medical team. The elbow surgery, which once seemed so important, is now just a footnote in my journey. My focus is fully on the monumental task ahead, to prepare as many people as possible for the transformation that is coming. In the past months, I have dedicated every waking moment to my mission. My book, Becoming Ready to Die, was recently published and is generating significant interest. In it, I share not only my near-death experience, but also the visions I had about the future and the importance of October this year. I travel constantly, giving talks and workshops in different cities and countries. People's reactions vary greatly. Some see me as a lunatic, others as a prophet, but what motivates me are those whose eyes light up with recognition, those who feel the truth resonating in their souls. The approach of October brings with it a mixture of emotions. I feel a growing sense of anticipation, but also an overwhelming responsibility. The visions I had showed incredible potential for humanity, but they also made it clear that the outcome depends on the choices we make now. In my talks, I emphasize the importance of cultivating unconditional love, compassion, and service to others. I speak about the interconnectedness of all things and how our individual actions impact the whole. I encourage people to prepare spiritually, to open their hearts and minds to the changes that are coming. It's not an easy path. I face skepticism, ridicule, and even hostility in some places. But I also find unexpected allies. Scientists, spiritual leaders, and ordinary people who have had their own transcendent experiences have joined me in this mission. As October approaches, I feel an intensification of the energies around me. More people seem to be waking up, questioning old beliefs, and seeking deeper meaning in their lives. It's as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for something monumental. I stay grounded in the lessons I learned during my experience, the unconditional love I felt, the understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, the importance of every choice we make. These guide my daily actions. In moments of doubt or fatigue, I feel Mark's comforting presence, reminding me that I am never truly alone on this journey. Today, as I prepare for another talk, I feel the weight of responsibility but also an unshakable hope. I look at the calendar and see that there are only a few weeks left until October. Whatever is coming, I know I've done my best to prepare people. I take a deep breath, center myself, and remember the visions I had. The future isn't set in stone, but we have the power to shape it with our choices and actions. With this conviction in my heart, I step forward to face another day, determined to continue my mission until the very last moment. As I walk toward the packed auditorium, I think of all the souls who are about to hear my message. I know not everyone will be ready to accept what I have to say, but if I can reach even one person, it will have been worth it. The future of humanity is at stake, and every open heart, every expanded mind, counts. October is coming, and with it, the promise of an unprecedented transformation. I'm ready. Are we ready? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The journey to this new awakening begins now, with each one of us. If you enjoyed this beautiful spiritual testimony, leave a like, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to catch every new video and help us spread this message to as many people as possible. See you next time.